Ministering Angels by Lori A. Thompson. Chapter 21. Tree Venture. Nathan wakes early and packs his pouch with the intent to spend the day up at Brad's fort. He starts his day with Brad on his mind. When he makes it to the top of the island, Nathan is ashamed at how he has let the area go. Glad he has set the day aside, Nathan goes to work right away. It isn't until the sun starts fading that he realizes he hasn't stopped working for one single moment. He looks around at the well-groomed area and confirms even Brad has never had this area look so nice. The short pause Nathan took to check his work is enough of a distraction, allowing other realizations to surface, one of which, he is hungry. He hasn't quit to eat all day. Without any conscious effort, Nathan has isolated himself from the other boys. He enjoys his meal in front of his own private fire. He eats until he is full, and then falls asleep right there by the fire. He hasn't been asleep very long when he hears someone call his name. He sits up. "Nathan," a voice speaks. Hearing his name again, he stands to follow the sound. Nathan walks down an unbeaten section of the mountain. The voice is moving in the air, high above. He monkey climbs a tree, and without familiarity to the laid-out territory, Nathan makes his way through the treetops of the island. Swinging on vines, scaling up and down trees, he follows the voice that's calling him in the night. The night is uncannily quiet. No evening animals scampering. No bugs scrambling for safety. The routine beckon calls silence, as if the pursuit of the voice takes precedence over all the happenings of the night. Nathan's only thought is to get higher, to get himself into the open. The climbing seems effortless, and his desire to keep going seems endless. The clear evening sky makes way for the moonbeams to touch the tips of branches and ends of vines. Progressing his way through the night, Nathan no longer trails behind a whispering mantra. He is now on a moonlit venture. Keeping his eyes focused straight ahead, he's able to keep the line in sight. What seems like not very far off in the distance is a floating bright light. His shifting through the trees compels the light to appear, as if it is bobbing along with him in the same motion. In and out of sight, it materializes, then dematerializes at will. Nathan smiles at what now seems to be a game. He isn't sure who is keeping track of whom. Nathan stops and perches himself on a large branch. Looking ahead at the light, it isn't any closer. Breathing heavy from his climbing efforts, Nathan rests a moment. He can hear the sounds of the night filter in, blanketing the air with the movement of life. Leaves rustle above his head. Nathan's ears perk with playful intent as the scout in him sets out to discover what is scampering from branch to branch. The animal begins leading him back in the direction in which he began his adventure. Nathan is fearless with his tree climbing. It is a game to test his endurance. He's able to jump tree to tree using vines dangling between the trees as safety ropes. Landing firmly on a tree branch, he feels a presence behind him. "Nathan," a voice speaks his name close to his ear. Nathan stops obediently and turns to see who has called his name. Nathan doesn't see anything. He pauses, realizing it is the voice that has brought him out deep into the trees so late at night. This time, though, he's not as interested in discovering the source. He notes how late it is. He calculates how far he has come, and recognizes he has found nothing. He looks around. With no evidence in sight, he turns away and decides to return home. Then again, close to his person, "Nathan." Nathan wakes by the sound of his name. He is next to the fire back at the fort. The fire is still burning strong, his eyes fixated on the hovering vision floating above the tips of the flames. At the same time, Brad has turned his head towards a beckoning for Nathan. Brad is seeing the same floating mystical vision in the water as Nathan. Nathan sits frozen, thinking that if he even blinks, the vision will disappear. It is her, the girl in the drawings, in a white gown with long blonde hair. She stands floating above the fire, staring down at Nathan with her ocean blue eyes. Nathan watches as her arm rises, reaching her hand out, then turning her palm to the sky, showing Nathan the stone. Brad is comfortable with her presence and doesn't realize until that moment how much he has missed her. He reflects on how she can still surprise him even after all this time. Her presence in the water comforts him instantly. Her arms rise and her hand reaches out, exposing a leafy branch. Nathan looks at the mark on the stone and then back at her eyes. It is in her eyes. What she knows reflects in her eyes. Just by looking at them, Nathan knows things. He knows he can trust her. He knows she is there for him. He knows she knew all about the boys and the goings-on of their everyday life on the island. She holds a look of familiarity in her glance. He has never remembered seeing her before, or any girl for that matter, yet she is familiar. Then she's gone. Her image disappears into the smoke of the fire. Brad accepts her leaving as a comfortable reminder of their relationship. Experience has taught him she cannot be summoned, nor can she be kept. He has been crushed before by her leaving his space. Brad has grown to appreciate her appearance so much that he no longer has room for sadness when she leaves. He's chosen to trust in her return. Brad knows he has to get to the surface immediately before he misses his opportunity. Something else he has learned over time: never squander her guidance. Her timing is always perfect. Brad has been in the water too long. He's lost his sense of intuition. He's eager to report to the top. Nathan still isn't sure what the sign on the stone means. He holds to the thought in his mind to grasp the stone again, to look upon the formation embedded within the stone. It is late. He determines his search can wait until tomorrow morning. His mind and body will be rested. Better for figuring things out, he decides. He lies down and falls asleep until morning. End of chapter 21.